Well, Mem Fox was recently interviewed saying how important story time is in reading aloud, and to read to kids from a young age, it helps their vocabulary, it helps their learning, it helps them be at ease.
This week on Shire Talk, a group of Shire authors worked together to create a collection of short stories called Creative Kids Tales Story Collection 2. One side exciting and spooky, the other fantasy and adventure. Here's just a few of the stories you'll find inside with a word from the authors.
I have one called The Flyer, which is about a train that goes missing in the 1800s. And I have another one called Axel and Lottel, which is about a fish who wants to be a lizard and a lizard who wants to be a fish.
Enchanted Bed is a young child who doesn't get to go anywhere, and he finds an elf on the end of his bed who takes him to Elfland.
A bug called Wilmot and a walnut called Walnut and they're trapped inside a vacuum cleaner, but one day one of them gets spat out and they sort of lose each other, so he needs to find his way back into the vacuum cleaner so he can find his mate and they can try and get out again so they're not stuck in this spooky world.
And it's about a bear who likes to play with his owner, Toby, but he gets lost and he ends up in the washing machine, and by the end of the story he's not so smelly.
I have a little dog called Elmo, and he's quite cheeky and used to run off. And Harry is the little dog in an island of mystery, and he's the one that went into the forest, and the children followed.
Inspired by my daughter, who loved to throw things into her wardrobe rather than tidy up. So in my story, basically the things that get thrown into the wardrobe get squashed together and come alive as a monster who comes out to attack the girl in a not very threatening way.
A young girl, she's in the circus, and her mother has passed away, but her mother comes to warn her about oncoming danger.
Yeah, the two kids are asleep at night and the younger brother wakes up because there's a thumping under the house. They're too scared, so they have to go under the house to find out what's actually thumping under the house.
Well, Mem Fox was recently interviewed saying how important story time is in reading aloud, and story time is really important to read to kids from a young age because they can read stories at home and they can be more confident when they're talking. They can read stories for their family, they can make up stories, and they can make up stories for their friends, and it absolutely gives them confidence in the playground.
Stories are probably one of the most important things you'll ever do in your life. They're limitless.
It made me think about my own childhood and the stories I liked. So I think it's pretty easy to sit down and write fantasy and write magical things.
The bushland is my inspiring. That inspires my writing.
Yeah, I just think after having had my kids, I sort of wanted to tell different stories and just be involved, and then I found out about the group, so I got involved.
Oh, it was a teacher for years. We used to write kids' stories just for the kids in my classes, and that just progressed from there.
And even if you're trapped in a chair and you can't move or whatever, a story can take you somewhere.